the USC Championship Finals before he came back to win 2-1 in the rematch because of the winner-loser bracket thing. It's been interesting. Let's introduce these guys. Let's start off down to the bottom left-hand side. The blue Terran player is going to be from Team Expert. It is ByuN. Here to the bottom left-hand side. And to the upper right, our red Terran player is going to be KeeN. And again, KeeN's been playing very well lately. He's been really impressive with how he's been doing, honestly, as we set up into this. And again, down to the south side, our PvP semi-finals will be Zest Hero. That'll be coming up on stream after this ByuN KeeN matchup. And after that, we get to see the Imbalance in Action, the TvP Grand Finals, which will be coming up after those semis, obviously. So 2 best of 3s and best of 5 to go. So really kind of still just right in the middle of the StarCraft action for the day. It feels like when you get to the semi-finals, like, oh, well, maybe it's kind of getting late on in the tournament and so on, but the fact we get to cast both semis is really awesome. And I'm also going to be making sure to try and ask for a few of the replays of the other series as well, and maybe later this week at some point we will cast some more of those matches. Again, I mean, just more stuff for the YouTube channel, more stuff for you guys to watch as well. I mean, we might know the results, but we did the other day. It was actually a lot of fun getting to watch some of these players play the extra games that we didn't actually get to see during the tournament live. So it'll be something we try and do once again. So we set on up, and let's see what happens as we build on up here early. You're going to be seeing a factory-based opening here from KeeN with a second gas. Same story on the other side of the map here from ByuN. ByuN's a little bit faster on that second gas though. ByuN's gas coming down at 17 compared to KeeN taking it at about 19, 20-ish. So ByuN's just a little bit more aggressive here. And his generally does tend to suggest something like kind of Reaper Hellion, Reaper Cyclone. I mean, yeah, exactly. KeeN's is obviously not a Reaper, it's Marines, and that's why his second gas comes down a little bit later on here. While he'll still be able to afford a Cyclone if he wants, or Widowmine perhaps, and then go in towards like a Widowmine Marine drop in the early stages. So setting up into this, and we're going to be seeing the Marines just continue to gather up together. The first Reaper from ByuN comes across the map, and we'll start to look for a way in the next few moments. So we're just having a little bit of a look around here. You see this first Hellion popping out from ByuN. So it is just Reaper Hellion early, going into a tech lab as well. How weird is it just see sort of Reaper Hellion against like a Widowmine drop? It feels as though we never see this combination anymore because we're so used to seeing at least a Cyclone coming in from either side. So this is kind of like pre-patch 3.8 kind of TvT that we're seeing right here. As the second Reaper joins up on the right side of the map, the Hellion holding the watchtower as well. And we are just going to be seeing these units getting set to move in towards the upper right to see what else they can get done. Cyclone about 75% of the way done here. The Medevac coming up to about 75% of the way done as well. And we're just going to be seeing, I guess this group of units will load up and the Cyclone might move across the map as well to try and get some further damage done. So KeeN looking to apply a lot of pressure as both will begin to expand. ByuN with the early Raven here as well will do a pretty good job at defending, honestly. I mean, having a Raven to be able to use against the Widowmine is nice. Doesn't have to drop a scan for that. The Order Turret can help out a lot as well. Does ByuN have enough, though, I guess is my overall question, because he doesn't have that much right away here, you know? He's got a couple of Reapers, a couple of Hellions. But beyond that, he's actually not got that, you know, he hasn't exactly got a lot. Good grenade initially helps to kind of fend those units off, pushing them back again, but now there is no grenade. Now he has to use the Order Turret to fight with, and he will drop it down here. The Widowmine will go off, will go down. But now the Order Turret's going to fade away, and now what? I guess he's got one more grenade to use. It's going to go right in the middle of those units. The CC on the low ground's in a bit of trouble. He'll bring a couple of Marines down here now as well, which he's got enough. And his own siege tank coming in as well, man. This has been such a good time, kind of time waste. I mean, it's been such a good defense by ByuN. He's just been able to buy so much time, and he's actually going to be able to defend here. I mean, yes, his CC gets momentarily delayed, but he kills the Cyclone, and he does push this attack back. And that's going to be this Medevac just pulling away over to the right-hand side. So Medevac pulls away over to the right-hand side here. What a great defense, I think we have to say, by ByuN. I mean, that was just top-notch, perfect. I mean, first of all, one Reaper grenade at a time to buy a few seconds, and the Raven and the fight to buy a few more seconds, and just going on and on and on to kind of keep taking an advantage. And now ByuN actually takes a little bit of an army lead himself and may look to push across the map with those couple of tanks. We'll see how brave he's feeling. I mean, he actually has double Medevac, so he actually has the potential to get across here with some units and they get some damage done. So he's going to load up. The tanks get loaded. The Marines get loaded. And I guess he'll load up these couple of Hellions as well, maybe the Reaper. Maybe not. Maybe he just goes across the map anyways. Viking Raven here is actually going to start leading the charge and does find this medevac. One shot goes down. ByuN's still looking for a way across the map where he can get these medevacs into an aggressive position. Marine is going to see this though, so KeeN is able to start responding nice and early. Tanks will drop down to pick off that Marine, and so, well, KeeN knows what's going on. He begins to set up a tank defensively back in his natural expansion, position it so that it sort of holds this area over here and also the front. He's going to see, ByuN is going to drop an auto turret just before the Raven goes down. And there's kind of a bit of a rushed out turret there, and Raven still stays alive nonetheless, but again gets very, very low, so have to be a little bit careful about it as we see these units from ByuN join up back together on the left-hand side, running around. We actually see the drop back in towards the main base, picking up a few SCVs, tanking Hellions coming in, and KeeN is going to have to lift up here to get away. His Hellion actually a bit out of position, can't get lifted, and there's one medevac escapes with just 2 Marines inside through the south side of the map. Marine picks off one Marine there. The second Marine going to be ending up going down as well. He's just going to be seeing the couple of medevacs from ByuN still looking around, seeing what they can do. As this medevac pushes away, or pulls away through this south side. And the turret maybe is in range? I don't think so. Medevac will be able to escape. Marine gets dropped off, will maybe a spot for the third base coming into play. As we're just going to be seeing the group of units here from ByuN just gathering together on the natural expansion. Stimpack on the way up from both players. I'm going to be seeing the +1 weapons from ByuN coming into play as well. A few of these tanks is going to be gathering together here, Marines as well, and again, no Raven in the sky. I mean, if we look kind of past what's going on kind of on the map and kind of back in the bases, both players on the free racks already. ByuN going up to 4th and 5th racks already as well, so his production will kind of take off in the near future. In terms of upgrades, ByuN's only going to have the stim pack, whereas there's stim and combat shields for his opponent, but ByuN is going to have a +1 advantage on his side, so it's kind of a few different things here and there. As it stands right now, KeeN starts to get a bit aggressive with a little bit of an attack here, and actually, tank's not quite sieged up for ByuN. He drops some auto turrets to buy some time. His Marines are fighting away here. Now his opponent's auto turret's coming down as well as KeeN tries to bust through this position. Well, I mean, tanks are starting to go down. There's only really a few Marines left, but is it going to be enough? I mean, the tank is just going to survive here in the end. Viking in the sky doing a lot to keep on pushing back. Those medevacs drops down one of these tanks himself. One Marine drops down, and he will force this tank to siege. A few more Marines finally dropping as well, and he will clean up everything. ByuN again making a pretty clutch defense here at the end. Still does not have combat shields against the combat shields of his opponent, but does have that +1 upgrade advantage right here. So that's a nice little something there for ByuN. And again, the fact he's on 5 racks now, that's something which beforehand KeeN had not built into already. So now KeeN building up his reactors. Before a little while, ByuN will have just like a little bit of extra production to really help them out when it comes to kind of the army supply and so on. Scan comes down from either side against KeeN. Try and take this little bit of a position behind the mineral line, which is always frustrating to deal with. A tank here from ByuN is not quite close enough, unfortunately, to really deal with that just yet. He's going to come around the side and probably attack in from the northern end of this. You can see that KeeN is recognizing that something is probably about to happen, lifts that tank up and gets it out of there. Again, ByuN with the +1 armor now on the way. His goal here now is kind of just keep on defending, really. He's got good defense in the main base, as a Viking has found the medevac kill as well to the left-hand side of the map. The tank just getting out alive in time, as ByuN with way more units is going to start chasing forward. Picks up a few of these Marines, and really, again, he's just going to continue pushing away all of these units of KeeN. So KeeN gets pushed all the way back. As Marines gathering up together, a couple of tanks here as well. Medevacs up in the sky. Single tank unloads, and well, ByuN does have his combat shields now, so he's got that to work with, as we see. He's going to start pushing forwards, and KeeN just hasn't sieged on his tanks yet. One of them goes down instantly, second one gets one shot off. Now ByuN will back away, and KeeN continues to hold this left-hand side of the map, so he can continue to kind of hold this position at this point. For more tanks, ByuN will unsiege and relocate themselves. I love the fact ByuN's still just leaving a group of Marines in the main to hunt down any medevacs, which might try and just jump in here too quickly. As well, there's those Marines that are ready to go, and does he kill anything? Not just yet. Will he try and target down the tank maybe? Kind of hard to say. He's just going to siege up his own tank. Going to start pushing into this here, and well, 2 tanks are scary, and oh my god, the tanks are doing so much damage. ByuN trying to target them down, just get rid of them just before he loses too many Marines. At the front though, Marines pushing in as well, his own tanks. ByuN are trying to hold on. It looks as though they'll do a good enough job, as KeeN is now down by 30 supply. Not looking too pretty for him as this tank goes down. Marines will chase in. That's another couple of medevacs falling, and this is ByuN just cleaning on up here today in this semi-final game number 1. Marines continue to drop, and these Marines continue to push on through as well, as ByuN making a strong kind of case to get to the finals here in our first game. GG for KeeN. ByuN takes game number 1. Sell out a little bit for a few moments here just before we intro the players. It is because of your support that we're able to put on these events and able to kind of keep on casting every single day. We do cast pretty much daily here on the channel. We'll be live pretty much all this week. Tomorrow, if nothing else, we've got Natural Expansion in the evening, where we're going to have that's our SC2 talk show. Harstom, Optimus, and Fear going to be coming on alongside me and Lycan to discuss the Terran versus Protoss matchup in depth, as well as some other general news stuff from StarCraft 2 over the last 2 weeks. So that's going to be happening tomorrow, so if nothing else, we'll have that. Wednesday, IEM qualifiers. Thursday, I think, is IEM qualifiers as well. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, IEM qualifiers. We've got a mixture of Team League dotted around there as well, so there's going to be Team League all around that sort of place. And looking to bring you guys just action every single day. So if you do enjoy and you do want to support, again, subscribing is a great way to do so. We're looking towards setting up our next sub-tournament soon, our next sub-night. So still looking to set that up sometime soon. And other than that, you can also donate directly in the chat, or donate directly if you would prefer. You can cheer in the chat too. There's a lot of different ways you can support, and all of it goes a long way towards helping us stay here as a full-time streamer, full-time caster, event organizing. You know, again, the ability to run these sort of events, you know. So yeah, with that said, do appreciate all the support. And let's jump into game number 2. So top right hand side, the blue Terran player. Let's hear it if you're going to be cheering on ByuN. As he opens pretty early second gas once again. Same story as the last game though here from KeeN. In fact, both players doing pretty much exactly the same as in game number 1. As the bottom left hand side, KeeN opens with those Marines, and in second gas just a bit later than ByuN's here in the early stages. So, setting up into this, see how the game will continue. You'll be seeing the depot coming up to the left side of this main base, a depot coming up towards the ramp as well. I'm just going to be seeing the starport from ByuN currently beginning to build too. I mean, he's just going the exact same build. Both players are doing the exact same build, which is very strange for TvT, just because there's so many different builds you can do, but also because these builds are not really the kind of standard TvT builds you'd expect to see at this sort of stage of the game. So it is very interesting here, I have to say. Just kind of see this happening for a second time. Widow Mine is out, and I mean a medevac will build again. It's exactly the same from KeeN, exactly the same from ByuN. We'll see if he can make a similar defense once again. This time he's actually going to go Cloak Banshee rather than the Raven. And actually the Cloak Banshee might help out a little bit more, because if this attack hits, when does this attack hit? Will it hit before Cloak? I guess so. It's about a minute. It's going to be close though. I mean, a Banshee is just a little bit of extra continuous damage rather than the Raven, which is a short burst of damage with the auto turret. So it's interesting. I mean, actually a Banshee as well doesn't actually die too quickly to Marines and Cyclone, as silly as it sounds, because you can kite the Marines, the Cyclones lock on, doesn't really do anything. So it'll be kind of interesting. This medevac going to start moving across the map here. Widow Mine and 6 Marines inside. And we're going to be seeing the he's just going to start unloading. And look, let's see what's going to happen. Grenade goes down here from ByuN. We've seen this Widow Mine loading up. Another grenade going down again. And he's just going to start pushing forwards. Another grenade once more. I mean, just grenade after grenade after grenade, basically. As, again, he's just trying to buy time. He has got the Widow Mine at the front, and that's something which obviously KeeN's going to have to try and avoid here. Widow Mine comes down again from ByuN, a second Widow Mine. That's also something he didn't have in the last game, the Widow Mines, which is obviously going to help out. I try and grenade down this Widow Mine here as he just send one Reaper up. It actually splashes onto those units, as now the Widow Mine though of ByuN comes through and it does deliver in this defense. Cloak Banshee is... did he actually get the Cloak Banshee out? He does have a Banshee across the map, and there it is, across the map. And actually there's no anti-air here just yet, just a couple of Marines. They're going to go down pretty quickly, and these SCVs are going to take a lot of damage, and KeeN, he might just lose this right here. He's got a Raven and a Cyclone building, but it's not ready for a long time compared to how long this Banshee is going to be working on these SCVs for. So ByuN is going to continue doing a lot of damage, picking off SCVs as he kites back into the main base. I mean, a Cyclone and a few Marines about to drop down over here to help out. 11 workers killed, 12, 13. Scan comes down. He's going to pick off a Marine, maybe two. Just gets out of scan range even, maybe. Oh, he just gets there. I mean, Raven's about to pop. Raven will help to clean this up, but still... so much damage done. He actually, for now, dodges back in. He gets another couple of SCVs at least. There's one, there's two. Does he force another scan? Well, he shouldn't, right? Because there's the Raven here. And the Banshee does now get taken down. But 15 workers killed while defending perfectly back at home. The damage done here by ByuN is so good. And he puts himself into such a great position to play forwards from. 2 more barracks coming down. Stim pack starts. I mean, KeeN is in a really difficult spot as ByuN just has plenty to defend with. He's got plenty to even keep on harassing with another Banshee on the map. He is in a fantastic position. And as 2 more barracks continue to come up here from ByuN, he's just going to build up into his extra production. He's got upgrades continue to roll in. Upgrades which KeeN can't really think about for quite some time right now. So it's really going to be a bit of a tough spot as we see. I mean, ByuN just building up an engineering bay as well, continuing to go into upgrades, which again, KeeN can't really do much about. Like, he can't really afford to go into those upgrades and invest into them, as KeeN is doing so here. Viking Raven still just sat to the right hand side. Another tank pops out. Cyclone and a few Marines still gathering up together as well. And well, those units are still going to be seeing what they can do. Banshee actually comes in from the natural expansion this time, picks up 3 more workers. Just going to get out of there in plenty of time before the Raven Viking comes in. It's a nice little play by ByuN, you know, getting out of range from plenty of time. Oh, he loops around the Raven Viking actually, and he turned around and just about managed to find this Banshee in time. So Banshee will fall. I mean, it's still some good information that he gets to scout the main base. He sees there's no stim start. He sees there's only 1 barracks. So ByuN should know he's in a huge lead in terms of army, and he lifts up. And he starts to go across the map. 2 tanks, 8 Marines, and 1 and 2 medevacs. By the time he gets there, he'll probably have stim as well, which will be very, very difficult for KeeN to fight against. I see it's 2 medevacs coming down to the south. Looking to see what they can get up to. The 2 Vikings and a Raven here, actually, from KeeN. And just sit just to the right-hand side of the main base. I mean, can he stop these units from getting into the main? I guess is the first question we have here, really. Starts up his own stim, his extra barracks coming down after he starts a 3rd CC. An auto turret drops down, he's actually going to pick off a Viking here, which keeps his Raven safe a little bit longer. He actually pulls some units out of position because of that as well. And here we go, now he drops in towards the main. He sees that tank, he's going to drop to the other side of it, make sure that he doesn't have to worry about it too much. He has actually the first auto turrets. Might be able to work their way through one of these siege tanks already. 1 tank will fall, the 2nd tank going to go down too. Yeah, ByuN's initial attack going to get shut down. Auto turrets in the back of the natural as well, though. ByuN continuing to deal damage as 5 workers going down in total. This Hellion moving backwards and forwards here to the south side. And this 3rd command center from ByuN is also setting up over here. So 3rd command center setting up as well. I'm just going to be seeing the +1 weapon upgrade from ByuN. Going to be finishing very shortly. This +1 weapon's about to finish. Combat shields. He's coming up as well right now, so still setting up into this combat shields upgrade as well, and now he's got a triple medevac drop going across the map as well. ByuN going to keep on the pressure, still up by 16 workers, 28 army supply +1 stim pack. Combat shields have started where it hasn't for his opponent. He has so many advantages to work with that KeeN is just really going to struggle to get back in. He is going to ByuN once again scan. He sees actually the drop units in the main. He'd be better off dropping in the natural at this point because the 2 tanks there are just kind of joined up together. You could drop on top of those and that would end this game pretty quickly. And either way, we're going to see him just moving around looking for that opportunity. Taking it slow. His 3rd base is about to finish up. He'll have that mining as well in case he didn't have enough advantages already. That'll be 1 extra advantage on his side here very soon. And as we see the 3rd base very close to finishing. A few Marines sent forwards. He's going to pick off those Marines instantly here, so those Marines get taken down. Armory is just over halfway done right now from ByuN, going to be finishing up shortly. So Armory will finish up soon as we see just a single Marine from KeeN poking out the front. And these Marines, tanks, and medevacs from ByuN all gathering up together to see where they might want to go next. Scan into the main base as KeeN has a little bit of a look to see what's over there. He just wants to figure out kind of how much trouble he's in, I guess. As we're going to be seeing the units still in position from KeeN, just positioning on the natural expansion. So just position on the natural expansion. You're going to see these two Marines do begin to fight. I mean, KeeN doesn't have combat shields. He has less health on this Marine to begin with anyways. The thing is, ByuN again knows he doesn't necessarily need to engage forwards. He knows he can just sort of sit back a little bit right now and just be okay. So that's exactly what he's doing. He's just sort of sitting back a bit, just waiting, playing it out patiently. He has no reason to rush in at all. You know, he gains nothing by pushing into a position with a lot of sieged up tanks. What he can do is stop KeeN from getting towards the third base, and when KeeN pushes towards his third base, that's when maybe ByuN will begin to strike a little bit harder and really look for some real damage here. Building up a couple of Vikings, I guess also ByuN could build a couple of Liberators. That's a very common way nowadays of actually just breaking through some siege tank lines now that there's not tank evacs. It's a really good way to force on sieges, forces tanks to pull back, and it just allows you to really push a position a little bit more easily. They'll build 2 more Vikings for now. I wouldn't be surprised to see those Liberators coming in shortly. It's just a matter of the fact that he can't necessarily build too many Liberators right away because he doesn't necessarily have air control. And air control obviously helps a lot if you're going for that kind of Liberator play. Still a good spread of tanks here from KeeN. I mean, he's going to stay safe for now. And we've seen another scan coming down. ByuN going to stem forwards. He's actually going to try and chase down that orbital. You see these 2 tanks sieging up. 1 tank fires onto that group of Marines. Medivacs is healing those Marines up. Tanks continuing to push forwards through this top side. A few more Marines over here. A couple of Medivacs coming forwards as well. The next 2 tanks going to siege up as well from ByuN. And 1 more tank of ByuN also coming across over to this left-hand side here. Going to be trying to just push on forwards and see what might happen. I mean, he's stopping KeeN from getting the third base, right? So, I mean, he's already doing the right thing, which is going to force KeeN to do something, because KeeN knows he can't just sit on 2 bases forever against a 3-base ByuN, otherwise he's going to be in a lot of trouble. So, KeeN will know this as well. And as this orbital just continue to move on up towards the third base, KeeN actually going to go for a bit of a larger drop across the map, but there's so many Marines here from ByuN, he's just going to come straight on in. His Vikings are picking off Medivacs, so he's going to chase this down, no problem at all. And already KeeN just getting shut down around the map no matter what. Like, it's just not going his way at all. ByuN looking to be very dominant once again in this TvT matchup. He looked kind of off the last couple of weeks, honestly, but this right now is looking very much so like the old ByuN, just convincing plays, knows what to do at the right time, and always doing the right thing to put himself in good positions. Marines stem forwards, a couple of auto turrets drop, they won't do a lot as tanks siege up on either side. ByuN will be the one who has to pull back, but he kills the third orbital, and that will be GG. KeeN types on out to give ByuN the 2-0, and ByuN will move on through into the